Have you noticed that objects you once lifted effortlessly now feel heavy? Do you wonder why exercises that seemed easy in your 20s and 30s are so challenging now? Many people simply blame it on age. But the story I'm about to tell you is far more fascinating and important than that. The truth is, muscle loss isn't simply because you're getting older. It's because of remarkable changes happening inside your body. And understanding these changes means we can learn how to prevent them. In other words, muscle loss isn't an inevitable fate, but a phenomenon we can address. Let me share a startling fact. According to a 2023 study from Johns Hopkins Medical School, from our 30s to 80s, we lose an average of 40% of our total muscle mass. 40%. If you had 10 kilograms of muscle in your youth, 4 kilograms disappear with age. What's even more shocking is that this rate accelerates. In our 30s, we lose about 0.5% annually. By our 50s, it's 1% yearly. In our 60s, 1.5%, and by our 70s, more than 2% per year. So why does this happen? The first reason is hormonal changes. The most important hormones for building muscle are growth hormone and testosterone. These hormones decline dramatically with age. A 2022 study from Stanford University School of Medicine shows that compared to age 25, growth hormone levels at 60 decrease by an average of 65%, while testosterone drops 45% in men and 30% in women. Why do these hormones matter? Growth hormone, secreted during sleep, signals muscle cells to grow, like a factory receiving orders to increase production. Testosterone directly promotes muscle protein synthesis and inhibits breakdown. When these hormones decline, the command to build muscle weakens, while muscle breakdown becomes more active. But here's what's interesting: hormone decline isn't the whole story. The second crucial reason is changes in muscle cells themselves. Inside our muscles are special cells called satellite cells. These activate when muscles are damaged or stimulated by exercise, differentiating into new muscle cells. According to 2024 research from Germany's Max Planck Institute, if satellite cell activity in our 20s is 100, it drops to 35 in our 60s. That's barely 1/3. Even worse, satellite cell numbers also decrease. Dutch researchers at Amsterdam University Medical Center analyzed muscle tissue across age groups from 20s to 80s, and found that people in their 80s have fewer than half the satellite cells of those in their 20s. It's like repair and regeneration factories gradually shutting down. The third reason is changes in protein metabolism. When we're young, the protein we eat efficiently converts to muscle. But as we age, this process becomes increasingly inefficient. Research from Francis Lyon University Nutrition Science Institute shows that when consuming the same amount of protein, a 70-year-old has 45% lower muscle protein synthesis compared to a 25-year-old. Same ingredients, half the output. Why does this happen? As we age, our insulin sensitivity decreases. Insulin not only regulates blood sugar, but also plays a crucial role in transporting amino acids to muscle cells. With insulin resistance, amino acids can't enter muscle cells effectively. A 2023 study from McGill University School of Medicine in Canada found that people over 60 with insulin resistance experience muscle loss 2.3 times faster annually than those without it. The fourth reason is inflammation. As we age, chronic inflammation develops in our bodies. The medical community calls this inflammaging, combining inflammation and aging. This chronic inflammation is devastating to muscles. Large-scale research from the U.S. National Institute on Aging shows that seniors over 65 with high CRP inflammatory markers lost 18% more muscle mass over 5 years compared to those with low levels. Why does inflammation destroy muscle? Inflammatory substances promote muscle protein breakdown while inhibiting synthesis. Particularly, inflammatory cytokines like interleukin-6 and tumor necrosis factor alpha activate the ubiquitin proteasome system in muscle cells, breaking down muscle protein. according to research published by the University of Milan. In Italy, in chronic inflammatory states, daily muscle protein breakdown is 35% higher than normal. The fifth reason is mitochondrial dysfunction. Mitochondria, called the cell's powerhouses, produce energy in muscle cells. But with age, mitochondrial numbers decrease and function declines. A 2023 study from Tokyo Metropolitan Institute of Gerontology in Japan shows that at age 75, mitochondrial numbers in muscle cells are 60% of those at 25. And individual mitochondrial ATP production efficiency drops to 55%. When mitochondrial function declines, muscle cells can't produce sufficient energy, causing easy fatigue during exercise and slower recovery. More importantly, reactive oxygen species from mitochondria increase, damaging muscle cells and triggering inflammation. Research from the University of Barcelona in Spain found that reactive oxygen concentrations in muscle cells of elderly people with mitochondrial dysfunction were 2.8 times higher than normal. The sixth reason is neuromuscular junction degeneration. This is where nerves meet muscles. When our brain commands muscles to contract, signals transmit through these junctions, but these junctions degenerate with age. Research from King's College London shows that in people over 70, more than 30% of neuromuscular junctions have lost function. When neuromuscular junctions degenerate, brain commands don't properly reach muscles. Muscle fibers go unused, and unused muscles rapidly atrophy. Fast twitch fibers, or type 2 fibers, are affected first. According to 2024 research from the University of Melbourne in Australia, type 2 muscle fiber size in people over 65 shrinks to an average of 55% of young adults, with numbers decreasing 25%. Type 2 fibers are crucial for explosive power and strength. When these diminish, quick movements become difficult, and supporting yourself during a fall becomes harder. The seventh reason is declining nutrient absorption. Digestive function weakens with age and nutrient absorption rates drop. Particularly, secretion of digestive enzymes that break down protein decreases. Research from Copenhagen University Hospital in Denmark shows that stomach acid secretion in people over 70 is an average of 60% of those in their 30s. And pepsin activity, the protein digesting enzyme, is 50%. Why is this problematic? If protein isn't properly broken down, it can't be absorbed as amino acids and simply gets excreted. Even eating the same amount of meat, the actual absorbed quantity is far less than when young. Research from Tufts University Nutrition Research Center in the U.S. shows that actual protein absorption rate in people over 75 averages 68%, significantly lower than the 85% in young adults. The eighth reason is reduced activity. This is less a biological cause than a lifestyle issue, but it accelerates muscle loss. Movement naturally decreases with age. After retirement, commuting disappears. When joints ache, exercise gets avoided. Tiredness keeps people home. According to the World Health Organization's 2023 Global Survey, average daily steps for those over 65 is 3,800. Less than half the 8,200 steps averaged by people in their 40s. What happens when activity decreases? Muscles are tissues that rapidly shrink when unused. NASA research shows that complete bed rest causes 1% muscle loss weekly. While elderly people in daily life aren't bedridden, significantly reduced activity produces similar effects. Research from the University of British Columbia in Canada found that people in their 70s walking fewer than 5,000 steps daily lost more than twice the annual muscle mass compared to those walking over 8,000 steps. But don't despair after hearing all this. Remarkably, we can overcome most of these factors. First, we can counter hormone decline. To naturally boost growth hormone secretion, improve sleep quality. Growth hormone is mainly secreted during deep sleep and maintaining regular sleep patterns, while optimizing sleep environment can increase secretion. Research from the University of Chicago Sleep Research Center shows that 60-year-olds who improved sleep quality increased nighttime growth hormone secretion by an average of 27% after 6 months. Testosterone levels can also be naturally increased. High-intensity interval training and resistance exercise are most effective. Research from Edith Cowan University in Australia shows that men over 65 who performed resistance training 3 times weekly for 12 weeks increased testosterone levels by an average of 19%. Second, we can activate satellite cells. Exercise, especially resistance training, awakens satellite cells. Groundbreaking research from McMaster University in Canada shows that even people in their 70s can activate satellite cells through appropriate intensity resistance exercise, creating new muscle cells. After 12 weeks, participants' satellite cell activity increased by an average of 58%. Your muscles are still alive and ready to respond to stimulation. What's needed is proper stimulus, adequate nutrition, and consistency. Start today. Your future is determined by today's choices. If this content was helpful, please subscribe and like. In the next video, I'll introduce specific exercise programs and diets to prevent muscle loss. Let's work together for a healthy future. Thank you.